Yeah, so this is just testing. Testing. So this setup was mainly based on volume profile, and you can see it was based on the footprint chart analysis as well. So this is soon after the news. This major spike happened soon after the news, and yep, so you can see we placed one entry just over there, but because of a sudden spike, it got stopped out. So that is inevitable in trading, but you can see the trade is running in the intended direction. So we saw a lot of absorption as well happening at these price levels. So this is the smart DOM, and we were analyzing this area. The price was pushing up, but then we saw a lot of absorption happening at this price area, and after that the price started strongly pushing down. So also looking at this price action over here, you can see the price almost came all the way here after the news. So if you look at the news release over here, so we got non-farm employment change and unemployment rate happening at 8:30. So if you look at that, you can see that's why this big push up happened, this green candle. And why? So the price after the push up, the price came up all the way here into this high volume node in this area, because you can see in the previous 2 days, you can see 1, 2, 3 days the price has been pushing down. So this is the 30-minute chart basically. So Let me check a couple of other stuff. So the market sentiment was down for the British pound futures. So this is the British pound futures chart. Then, yep. Yeah, overall, the price is now pushing down as expected. All the way. The price, because the price pushed up, but then the sellers absorb the buyers pushing up over here, and the stop loss is above this high volume node. So earlier the stop loss was placed here in this area. However, with that spike, it got stopped out, the trade. But ideally, the stop loss could have been in this area, where soon after this high volume node in this area, this is where the current stop loss is placed over here. So looking into this, and then again looking into smart DOM, you can see the trading is happening over here, but it's slightly slow now, but compared to like a few minutes ago. So you can see a lot of selling has happened. You can see the volumes over here selling, and the price pushed up, but then price came down again. You can see sellers are pushing down the price currently. You can see the traded volumes over here. So the reason why the price is pushing down is the market sentiment is bearish for British pound. It is the most bearish out of the G10 currencies at the moment, and because it was in a bearish price action in the last few days, it is expected to be bearish. It is expected to be bearish. So the price is working, the trade is working according to the plan, but only thing, since the first trade was stopped out, when the second trade was placed, it barely missed the entry. That's fine. That's normal in trading. That's quite fine. Let's see what the price is doing. Okay, let's see what the price is doing. Okay, so in the meantime, let me set some settings of the live stream. I just slightly adjusted some settings. Let's see whether it has worked. The price is again coming up. It again came up and tagged our entry, as you can see over here. So we are in a sell entry now, as you can see. The stop loss is over here, and since this stream is to help you all for a small account challenge, so basically we will be showing you how to take a quick trade. Let's say without scaling, we will just show you, just say, because if you got a small account, so you are not able to scale. So keeping that in mind, the audience, our audience, so we will show you how to take, if it's going in our intended direction, we will show you how to take a one-to-one winning trade. Okay, so let me check if it takes a bit of time for the streaming to upload the content, but it's okay. Okay. So the trade is going in the intended direction, as you can see. You can see the sellers are pushing the price down. If you look at the smart DOM, you can see that now. So why the price is staying in this area is, you can see over here in this high volume cluster, you can see this is where the price pushed down strongly, and this is where the volume point of control for this volume profile we draw from, for this fixed range volume profile we draw from this point to this point. So in this area, this is where heavily the contracts were traded, and you can see that's where the price pushed down as well. And now in this retracement, the price reached into this point, and now it's pushing down. So price can do whatever price like to do, but as traders, what we have to do is we have to take decisions based on the tools we have and the price action. So we have done all right, but as I said, the price can do whatever the price want. For example, here earlier we had a tight stop loss, but now we slightly gave a bit of buffer for the stop loss, and you can see the price is currently pushing down. Let's see what the price would like to do. So we have to wait for a while until to see what the price would like to do it. So you can see the price is pushing down from the entry, and if we bring the smart DOM, you can see the sellers are trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, you can volume point of control as well. So you can see are trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Trade is currently in profit. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Let's see what sellers like to do. Are trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Trade is currently in profit. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Let's see what sellers like to do. Are trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Trade is currently in profit. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Let's see what sellers like to do. Are trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Trade is currently in profit. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Let's see what sellers like to do. Are trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Trade is currently in profit. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Let's see what sellers like to do. Are trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Trade is currently in profit. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Yeah, you can see the price is pushing down towards trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Is currently and see what it does. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Yeah, you can see the price is pushing down towards trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Is currently and see what it does. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Yeah, you can see the price is pushing down towards trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Is currently and see what it does. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Yeah, you can see the price is pushing down towards trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry. Is currently and see what it does. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as well. Yeah, you can see the price is pushing down towards trying to push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry towards the profit target. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as said earlier, you can see the price is pushing down towards VP sentiment. Push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry towards the profit target. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as said earlier, you can see the price is pushing down towards VP sentiment. Push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry towards the profit target. Also, and if we bring the smart DOM, volume point of control as said earlier, you can see the price is pushing down towards VP sentiment. Push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry towards the profit said earlier. Also, the price is pushing down towards VP sentiment. Push the price down. The price is pushing down from the entry towards the profit said earlier. Also, the price is pushing down towards volume point of price as said earlier. Also, the price is pushing down towards VP sentiment. Push the price down. The price is pushing down from the volume point of price as said earlier. Also, the price is pushing down towards VP sentiment. Point the price. The price is pushing down from the volume point of price as said earlier. Also, the price is pushing down towards volume point of price as said earlier. Also, the price is pushing down towards VP sentiment. Point the price. The price is pushing down from the volume point of price as said earlier. Also, the price is pushing down towards VP sentiment. Point the price. The price
Right.
The price is in that area. Okay, so you can see again the sellers are trying to push the price down. And you can see now the price strongly again, see, push down in this area. Look at, it's making a wick. And you can see negative change. Of the bids. So now currently it's 10:30 a.m. New York time, and it's Friday. So before we take this trade, we were also looking into MNQ, micro mini Nasdaq index futures. So basically what happened in this chart is like by the time we took the trade in the GBP futures, basically the NQ was in this area. Now when you look at the volume profile build up and the price action, we didn't see a clean setup here at this moment. We didn't see that as a clean setup in this area, because if you compare this over here, this chart, and then if you look at the GBP, you can see when you look at this price action down, the price swings, and then when you see this volume point of control, so when the price starts hitting this area and trying to push down, that that is slightly clean compared to the price just ranging in this area, because in this area the price has already pushed down, so there is no pullback, right? Like if you look over here, there was no clear pullback. So when the price is going down, we need to wait for a clear reasonable pullback as well. So we didn't see that pullback coming here. Without the pullback, the price straight away pushed down, right? Let's also look at the trade over here. And then if you look at micro mini Nasdaq ES, sorry, then Nasdaq was like that. Then if you look at ES, S&P 500, again it was in this area by the time we were entering the trade. So again it shows a bearish momentum, but the price has pushed down and there was no clear retracement. So the price, this is where it reacted to the news, this candle. So this is 8:30. This is the candle 8:30 reacting to the news. So basically the news we had was, if you look over here, we had the 8:30 non-farm employment change and unemployment rate, right? So 8:30 for this reaction, 8:30 news, this is the reaction in the MNQ. Then in MES, micro mini S&P futures, if you look here, this is the reaction candle, this one. Then if you look at Euro futures, Euro FX futures, this is that green candle which brought the reaction. And then if you look at GBP futures, this is that green candle which brought the reaction. So when it's news, you have to, it's advisable for you to wait till the news event gets released, because for example, if you were trying to enter a trade thinking the pullback would be somewhere here, you would have massively, stopped out. So what basically you guys have to do is wait till the news release and then see what the news candle does, and then after that you can make a decision. So the decision for entering for this trade was, if you look at this, when we look at MNQ, though it's bearish, as I said earlier, over here there was no proper pullback. So no pullback into, let's say, a high volume node, right? Now for example, if we had this pullback coming into this area, into this high volume node, in this area, we would have considered a possible entry. However, we look into footprint chart as well at that moment, but before we enter. But then again here, this is that if this bring the price somewhere, let's say over here into a high volume node, then we would have considered getting into such a trade. Okay, so let's say if we draw a fixed range volume profile, let's say into this price push down all the way. You can see it's heavily traded, you know, like that's because you can see the candle wicks. So that's why we chose GBP futures, because you can see in that we are able to see some clear high volume clusters, like you see over here, this one and this one over here. And when the price shoot up all the way, basically we were looking into this high volume cluster in this price swing down where the volume point of control was. So that makes logical sense. It makes logical sense to consider taking a trade in this area compared to, if you look what I draw now, see this price leg, you can see it's you can't, it's full of high volume, so you can't see like one cluster. You can see the whole area is heavily traded. So whereas if you look at this, you can see at least this area as a high volume cluster. So you need, so if you see an area of a high volume cluster, it makes it easy for you to make a trade decision, look into a trade, potential trade entry. Whereas if you look into this, now if let's look at MNQ as well. So if we look over here, if we just expand this into this push down when by the time the news release, so you can see even if it retraced into this area, we don't, it's kind of difficult for us to decide where to enter into the trade and where to place the stop loss, because it's the whole area is a volume cluster, the whole big area. That's mainly because, as I said, the price moving back up and down, you know, like, and heavily being traded. So then we got the same issue here as well. Then when you look at Euro futures and GBP futures, out of the two, if you look at the price action, you can see the GBP futures has a more sharper bearish sentiment, bearish market structure, bearish price move compared to Euro futures. Euro futures is also bearish, but if you look at a clean price action, like swing down, then price moving up, then a swing leg down, price retracing, swing leg down, retracing. Likewise, you could see it here as well, price down, but you could see this is areas in range. Then yep, you could see price moving down, retrace, press down. Then you can see a big range build up in this area. So yesterday's session, then this today's session, a big range. Then if you look at GBP futures, you can see yesterday it looks, compared to this where it looks like a range build up, but GBP futures looks bearish yesterday, the previous day, and then again a bearish push down. Whereas if you look Euro futures, you can see it's in a range and almost like in a range and slightly trying to push down. So which tells us though it's bearish, the bearish momentum is slow. Whereas if you look at the British pound futures, GBP futures, you can see the bearish momentum is strongly bearish. Now that is why we choose GBP futures to place the trade out of MNQ, MES, M6E and 6B. Right, so that hopefully that gave you some idea, like, you know, educational knowledge into why this particular trade has been placed. Now, it being a Friday and the price now getting closer to the lunchtime, it's 10:42 New York time. right? So ideally the price should kind of, in a situation like this, ideally price should quickly shoot toward our profit target. In a normal scenario, this would have been a profit target, but what happened in this case is because of high volatility, we had to keep a little larger stop loss. You can see the stop loss over here. So that's why the price came down. So if it was not a wider stop loss, if there was no big volatility, if there was no wider stop loss, this is definitely, this push down up to here is going to be your winning pips. But at least, since we were targeting at least a 1-to-1, because this is a small account challenge for you guys to learn how to manage a small account, so that's why we are showing it like this. But when we place these trades, our traders replicate this on our managed prop firm accounts. So we do have in-house managed funds, so we will place more contracts. But in this series, for you guys, we will place small contracts so that you guys understand how to grow a small account. Okay, so let's see what's happening here now. Let's look at Smart DOM to see what's happening. You can see that it's not heavy trading. Trading happens, but it's kind of little slow. You can see more sellers were popping here in this area. You can see the red numbers are higher in this area compared to the green numbers, which means the sellers has been slightly dominant. So trading is about, let's say you place the trade and after that you monitor, and once you place a trade, there's nothing much for you to do. So that is why you see a sort of silence. You see in this live stream, like sort of silence means we are looking at the chart and trying to see, what's happening. So you can see more sales entries are coming into the market, more ask entries. So more ask entries meaning more sell entries popping up. Then buyers are also fighting. So that's why you can see the wick is being formed here in this area, in this candle. So basically what we are looking is the volume footprint, the footprint charts, and now it's a candlestick chart. Yep. So this volume profile and order flow based trading is a more professional way of trading than just looking at candlestick charts. Basically this gives you more information, like for you to see what's happening. For example, if you don't have this like smart DOM, then basically you have no clue what's happening. Like you will see the price is moving, making wicks, but what's happening kind of is hidden, like it's a black box. But when you see the smart DOM and the DOM, you can kind of get idea of what's happening. Now for example, there were minus change, so that means sellers backed off for a little while, right? That's why the buyers are pushing up now, as you can see, right? So the previous candle, these are 30-minute candles because I'm in the 30-minute chart of GBP futures. Then again, why we went to GBP futures was the reason what we said above about MNQ, MES, and Euro futures. You know, out of all, this is where the cleaner chart is, as you can clearly see the price action. The price, when the price came all the way up, it almost came near this bearish fair value gap, which is a smart money concept. And you can see when the price pushed up, it has made a bullish fair value gap over here. Those are smart money concepts. We just look into them. In our trading, we use fair value gaps, but mainly our trading is focused, our analysis is focused on volume profile and order flow concepts. And then when it comes to final trade entry positions, we use fair value gaps, which we will talk we will talk about that in other videos. Okay, so the price is actually slow because, as I said earlier, ideally it should have shoot into the take profit. In fact, it came, like, you know, if you guys understood what I said earlier, the price came all the way here, right? But since we have bit larger stop loss, we were targeting 1-to-1, as I said earlier. That is why we were waiting till the price reach our at least 1-to-1. Otherwise, in a normal day, normal scenario, this is already a winning trade because the price almost went down. Okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, you can see again the price is pushing down. If you want to see why it's pushing down, you can see sellers are pushing down. If you look at the smart DOM, you can see more sellers are hopping in, and you can see in this area sellers have been aggressive. So these are aggressive sellers, these are aggressive buying, this is aggressive buying, this column is aggressive selling. You can see negative change, that means buyers are backing up. You can see more sellers are coming up. See, the buyers were backing up, so the price went down. So the buyers were backing down. Okay, so the price went down, and you can see more sell entries now coming, more positive sell entries, more change, negative buyers. That is what make the price go down. See more negative. If you look at this, see more negative change. That means buyers are backing and sellers are hopping in. See more and more sellers coming to the market. So these are passive sellers, these are passive buyers. These middle columns are the aggressive sellers and aggressive buyers. Okay, you saw minus change in the sellers. That means sellers were slightly backing. The price is pushing down. It's going towards the profit target. Price is pushing down. It's going. So more and more aggressive sellers are coming. Aggressive sellers selling. Passive sellers are emerging. Passive buyers are backing down, and the price is strongly moving down towards the take profit target. So what we'll do is we will stop the live stream from this point, and hope you all enjoyed this session, right? And hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be a winning trade because it's almost reaching the profit target. Okay, so good luck and all the best.